all-time highs. The Dow almost crossed 30,000 for the first time yesterday. These eye-popping numbers drawing a record number of new investors into the market, many of them total beginners, according to 5 top brokerage firms. Here, look at these numbers. Nearly 4 million new accounts, just Fidelity this year. 3 million more at Charles Schwab and at Robinhood, close to 2 million for TD Ameritrade, and roughly 800,000 on E-Trade. In total, more than 12.5 million new accounts just this year. So who are they?
I am a grandmother of 8.
I am starting my own business.
During the COVID crisis, I found myself unemployed.
These just some of the faces behind the millions of new trading accounts opened across the country during the pandemic. First stop, Atlanta.
It doesn't matter who you are, what skin color, what your background is, what your education is. You create your own opportunity, and no one can take that away from you.
Destiny Fortier works in marketing. The 29-year-old says she's trading more than ever during the pandemic to help reduce her student loan debt.
It's so important for me as a Black woman in America to have that skill and have that knowledge and then share it with my close friends and family.
Next stop, Stockton, California.
Prior to this year, I was never really interested. In fact, I was intimidated.
Healthcare worker and part-time DJ Fayette Reynolds has had more free time since COVID hit. The 56-year-old spending it with her grandkids and building her nest egg.
I went from investing $25 into a fraction of a Bitcoin to buying my first Apple stock before it actually split.
In Dallas, entrepreneur Mary Claire Mannard opened a trading account back in March.
I've decided to get more active in investing.
The 30-year-old says her goal is to build her savings.
Investing is important to me because it allows me to create greater financial security for my future family.
Last stop, Winter Park, Florida, where Luis Laura lives with his wife and 3 daughters. During the pandemic, he was laid off from his financial services job.
Once I was no longer employed with my company, I needed to find a way to take control of the situation.
Now the 38-year-old is trading daily to help support his family.
It's always a constant process of researching, analyzing. I can't just sit in front of the computer all day, even though I'd love to, but that's just not realistic with a growing family.
No, not with a baby in arms. Jim Cramer's here now. Hello, sir. Amateur investing. Is there a smart way to get started?
Well, first, I'm not so sure we should call them necessarily amateurs. How about younger or just beginning? If only just because there's a pejorative. I think you start small. I always say first 10,000 should be in an index fund, particularly the S&P, and then you can be able to put away, we call some mad money. I don't want people to be gambling, so to speak, day trading. I think that's too hard. But I think if you start, say, with maybe 100 shares of a stock, and then you build up over time, I think it's right. I listen to all those people, and I'm proud of them. I know there's a lot of people who denigrate the individual and think that they can't pick stocks. But you know what? There's a whole group of people who are scared to death and never got in the stock market. And, Shep, you're making nothing in interest rates. Yeah. And commissions are zero. And I encourage people to go find quality stocks that have good dividends so at least they can make some money.
You know, stats out back in the summer showed savings rates are huge. What do people do with that money now, Jim?
Well, I think that, first, obviously, we don't have a lot of things to do with our money. So I totally understand why people are trying to generate a little bit more capital. I think that there are so many great companies, whether they be in the Dow Jones Industrial Average or S&P, that are doing so well, both in growth and value, dividend and capital appreciation, that I think people should do the studying. It's never been easier. When I was growing up, I was in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. You never had as much information. I think there's a lot of well-researched people. I talk in ahead of this piece. I spoke to some people at some of the major firms, all the firms people know, and they are all saying that these younger investors are more researched, better researched, more knowledgeable than they've seen in generations. So I applaud them.
Yeah, that's fascinating. They're so good on the computers. I'm not really all that surprised.
But they are.
Yeah.
This is, they've got the world at their fingertips here. If they want to find out how big Alphabet is and how well it's doing and whether they should own it or not, they can do some research, and they know how to do it. I'm proud of them.
You know what I don't get? We're at the worst the pandemic's ever been. It's about to get even worse, and yet the markets are soaring. Help me understand it.
Sure. It seems like a real conundrum. I call it the tailwind, headwind probability, in that you look like, obviously, right now, the pandemic is a big headwind. But you know what? We heard, listen to what Meg said. I mean, how about what she said about, she's doing such a great job reporting, Meg Terrell. There's Pfizer soon to be getting some good news. And we've got, right now, we've got Moderna. Behind that, J&J. We've got Glaxo. It's looking like the science is starting to pay off. And the negativists, the people who didn't believe that this could happen, I think they are starting to realize, wow, maybe the stock market's been going up because this time, next year, we're going to be in better shape. Stock market always looks about 6 months forward. It's very difficult right now to see anything good. I know, it's particularly because Washington failed us. It looks like no stimulus. But these vaccines are gigantic, Shep, and they're really a positive story. And that's what's turning us around.
Sure hoping for next summer, my friend.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yes, it would.
Thank
you.
Jim
Cramer.
Thank you for letting me on the show.
Oh, excited to have you. We'll see you in the morning on Squawk on the Street.
Very good.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.